a bustling city named Olori, there lived a man named Kola Adebayo. Kola was well known in his community for his generosity. He often donated money to local schools, provided food for the needy, and even helped fund small businesses. People admired him, calling him a cheerful giver. But behind his kind facade, Kola harbored a dark and sinister secret. Kola had multiple phones, each used to chat with different young women online. He would lure them with promises of love, money, and a better life. Once they trusted him, he would invite them to his home. There, he would offer them spiked drinks, and when they lost consciousness, he would take advantage of them. But his crimes didn't stop there. Kola was involved in organ trafficking. He would kill the girls and sell their body parts to wealthy clients. His targets were often vulnerable young women who were easily swayed by money and material things. One day, Kola met a young woman named Adaora online. Adaora was a university student studying journalism. She came from a strict Christian home and was cautious about who she associated with. Kola tried to convince her to visit him, but Adaora refused. She wasn't easily swayed by his sweet words or promises of wealth. Kola grew frustrated. He had never been rejected before, and Adaora's refusal cost him a lucrative deal. Enraged, he vowed to make her pay. "No one refuses me," he muttered to himself. "I'll make sure she regrets it." Kola kept over 30 girls locked in his backyard shed, ready to be harvested whenever he received an order. He continued to present himself as a philanthropist in his community, donating money and food to gain trust. One day, a pregnant woman named Funke, who had been abandoned by her husband, approached Kola for help. Desperate and with no other options, she agreed to follow him to the city. But once they arrived, Kola tied her up and threw her into the shed with the other girls. Funke cried constantly, which angered Kola. In her final moments, she cursed him, saying, "You will pay for your crimes one day." But Kola ignored her, killing her and selling her body parts. Kola's obsession with Adaora grew. He decided to focus all his efforts on luring her to his home. He called her, pretending to be in love, and begged her to give him a chance. Adaora, after much persuasion from her friends, finally agreed to visit him. She asked for his address, but Kola refused, insisting he would pick her up instead. Adaora, cautious as always, shared Kola's phone number with her friends and set off to meet him. When Adaora arrived in the city, she called Kola, who told her to wait at the bus park. However, before Kola could pick her up, Adaora received a call from her mother. Her younger sister had been involved in an accident. Adaora immediately rushed to her sister's side, cancelling her plans with Kola. Kola was furious, but hid his anger, pretending to understand. Weeks later, Adaora finally visited Kola's home. She arrived unannounced, surprising him. Kola, who had deliveries to make that day, left her alone in his house, promising to return the next morning. That night, Adaora heard strange noises coming from the backyard. Curious and frightened, she investigated and discovered the shed filled with over 50 women, some tied up, others lying lifeless on the floor. The stench of blood and death overwhelmed her. One of the girls explained how Kola had lured them with promises of love and money, only to betray and kill them. Adaora acted quickly. She freed as many girls as she could and called the police. When they arrived, they surrounded the house and waited for Kola to return. The next morning, Kola walked into the house, unaware of what had happened. He offered Adaora a drink, but she refused. Confused, Kola sneered, "You won't need it anyway. You won't be leaving this house alive." Adaora remained calm. "I'm glad I came," she said. "There's enough evidence and witnesses against you now." At that moment, the police emerged from hiding and arrested Kola. He was enraged, realizing he had been outsmarted. The police thanked Adaora for her bravery and took Kola to the station, where he confessed to his crimes. His accomplices were also arrested, and they all faced the death penalty. Adaora later founded an organization to educate young women about the dangers of online predators. Kola's crimes were exposed, and justice was served. The community of Olori, once fooled by his generosity, now saw him for the monster he truly was. Adaora's courage not only saved countless lives, but also ensured that Kola's reign of terror came to an end.